Hello and welcome back to the Babenbergs. In between episodes I was asked whether there are any negatives from switching from male preference inheritance. And yes, there are a few negatives, but there are also a few positives, but I want to briefly go into it because it's an interesting question. So, let's start with what we're talking about here. We're talking about the gender law male preference. There are 5 levels of gender law. They are male only, male preference equal, female preference, and female only. They work mostly as you would expect. Male only is only males can inherit, female only females can inherit. Equal, both can inherit. Male preference, males are preferred, female preference, females are preferred. If we have a look at male preference with an example of our family here, we have 2 daughters and 2 sons, so our sons inherit first, followed by our daughters, followed by our aunts. Makes perfect sense. So, that's what the succession law is. Now, would there be any negatives from switching? Yes, because there is a big positive to male preference succession currently, which is that everybody else also has male preference succession, which means that our pool of marriage options is a lot larger. Let's use Bohemia as an example, mainly because I already worked through it. If we have a look at this child here, and we want to marry our daughter to them, as a patrilineal marriage, he's like, yep, this is fantastic, I'm all in on the marriage. If we change it to matrilineal, he's a lot less likely to accept. Now in this case, because he really likes us, he's actually still into it. But if we had somebody who liked us a little bit less, it would mean that this person was no longer an option for marriage for our daughter. So effectively, it's lowering the pool of potential people who want to marry your children, which is not ideal, right? You want the largest amount of options available so that if there happens to be somebody amazing, you can marry them. So, that's the main negative from switching. The main positive is that if I happen to have a fantastic female heir, that if Marie happened to have a couple of fantastic genetic traits we wanted to pass on, she would have a lot of trouble inheriting because we'd have to get rid of our first 2 sons first, and if we had any other children who were sons, we'd also have to get rid of them in order for Marie to inherit. So that's kind of how it works in there, and that's the main negative from switching, at least in terms of just switching, like if we had the option to switch. However, we don't even have the option to switch, because if we have a look in here at our gender law, you'll see that if we want to switch to equal, we do not either have the equal doctrine in our faith or cultural tradition that allows equal. Now, our faith is male dominated, and if we want to change this, we have to change our faith entirely, as in we have to change from Catholic to something else. It could still be Christian, it just can't be Catholic. So that's not ideal for us because we get a lot of benefits from being within Catholicism. Not just opinion of other characters who are Catholics, but we get a lot from the Pope, we got a lot of money in there, we get to be part of Crusades where we can put family members in charge of things. We kind of feel a little bit isolated if we switch our faith. Now it might be an option later if we happen to become an emperor and we want to do that, but for now, it's not really something I want to do. The other option is to change something in your culture. Now currently we're not the cultural head, so we couldn't add to our culture. But if I wanted to diverge our culture, and I wanted to change, say, this to equal inheritance, which is the only one I found that actually has the equal gender law, then I could. However, I need to change let's just change a cultural pillar just to change one. Let's go egalitarian, right? So we could do that for 2,500 prestige. However, we currently have another plan, which is to merge our culture with Bavarian, which is actually what I want to be, like that's what we're working towards, so that's kind of the main reason why we wouldn't do that. Also, it's quite a lot to spend for, again, something that's not a huge benefit to us right now. There are reasons why we might want to do it, but just not right now. The one that I'd be much more interested in changing is actually this, the martial custom, right? Because currently only men can be commanders and knights, which is not great because you really want a large pool of people who can be commanders and knights, because the more good knights you have, the more damage you're going to do in combat, right? Like currently, we have 11 knights, but if we go down to like, who's our worst knight here? So our worst knight is currently our husband with 6 prowess, right? So if I look at our court, and I look for, let's sort by prowess, and then we go highest to lowest, right? Freya here has 16 prowess. So currently, she can't be a knight. But if we were to change our martial custom, she could be, at which point, we've just upgraded our 6 prowess knight to a 16 prowess knight. Same with Heli here. She's got 14 prowess, but she can't be a knight, right? That's the one I'm much more interested in changing if we can, because I think that would work fantastically for us. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. Hopefully that answered your question about male preference stuff. Oh yeah, the other thing is that would give you more options for people who could then be your acclaimed knight, which means that you can end up with acclaimed knights who are even better acclaimed knights then win more, say, tournaments, or better at hunts or whatever. I think they're better at things that get them glory, which means that your accolades go up in rank, which means that you end up getting more bonuses that way. So yeah, I'm much more interested in that, but anyway, it's also not on the cards until we change our culture, which will be in how many years? 12. So in 12 years we're looking to change our culture, and hopefully we're about to get the cultural acceptance for that by going on this tour. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a tour. Also, just out of curiosity, just because I was thinking about it, I saw him on the side. What's up with King Kuno? What's going on with him? He's just living his life. Okay. This is heir there. I know they're all kind of our family members. They used to be of our house, but they no longer are. But yeah, cool. Oh, also, I know I'm jumping again. In terms of becoming our house head, people have said if I unland the current house members, right? So if I unland, say, Leopold and his line of the house, then the house head will revert back to us. I'm open to doing that, but I actually kind of like the AI just handling that for me right now. I'm not overly worried. I tend to pick the same things each time anyway. Let's let the AI pick some of them. Might at some point decide that I want control over it, but for now, yeah, not overly worried about it. So, there we go. Anyway, we're off on our grand tour, and we're going to make a huge amount of money from this as well. Hopefully. Cultural Festival in Schaumberg. The streets of Schaumberg are richly decorated for my arrival, and my vassal Count Garibaldi dutifully awaits me. How I yearn to delight myself in the great activities and joys that I'm sure Garibaldi has prepared, and to lighten their bags from the weight of their gold. Yay, okay, so cultural acceptance between Bavarian and French goes up by 2.5%. And we've arrived at our Marshal and fellow House Babenberg members' place. Oh, also, while I remember, I know I keep jumping from thing to thing. Because I think we're about to get cultural acceptance here, I'm going to switch you to increasing development in Vienna. Because then we'll be able to get to that university quicker, right? Because the university requires you to have 30 development. Yes. Okay, also your title has to be equal or greater to duchy, which is fine, it will be. And level of fame has to be level 4 or higher. It probably will be, yeah. So if we can just get that development up like a little bit, then we can hopefully make a university within our character's lifetime. Which would be good. Anyway, back to this. Lots of people becoming friends and rivals and other such things. My vassal was charmed by my dog. And we also got some money there. We just got a random bit of money. How much? Like, this guy just paid us 70 gold for no real reason at all. The sky above Schaumberg is clouded, and the grey streamers of the night start to wander around the narrow alleys. Count Garibaldi's hold rises at the top of the hill, almost defiant. He could use a reminder of who he serves. I am a duchess by divine right. The crown hangs over my head like the moon above all other stars. No matter how brightly you shine, I prevail. It is a little bit funny that it's like the crown hangs over my head. Like, it doesn't because I'm a duchess, so I don't actually have a crown. But also, with the new coronation stuff, you wouldn't have a crown unless you had a coronation, so like this feels like an odd event. But anyway, I can become a humble liege for 5 years, or I can say, Garbold shall renew his homage to me. Sure, let's do that. Right, and we'll go speed 4. A loyal reminder, homage. Every candle in the room burns furiously to keep the darkness outside. A migrant draft comes and goes through the stone cracks around the windows. Count Garbold is kneeling in front of me, and I reach out for his hands, taking them into mine. My friend, I start and tighten the grip. You give your hands into my hands in the place of our hearts. I think highly of your fidelity, and as such I demand your gold. This will not block the vassal contract, and I get feudal taxes. Men, loyalty. Okay. Get strong hook or friendship. I don't need to actually do any of this. I'm just going to say friendship because I want it to go away. Yeah. Okay, now I know what that event leads to. We can avoid it in the future. I became friends with Count Garbold. Garbold being the son of Bruno, who was the son of Otto III, who was the Count of Dice. I see. Okay. Cool. Well, let's carry on. I'm going to go in speed 4 so we can actually read these as they pop up, like our mother becoming rivals with someone. A group of locals is taking stage in what seems to be the longest, blandest sermon I've ever heard. I try to keep my eyes open, but soon enough the piles of hay at the corner of the street look a bit too comfortable, a bit too tempting. I must stay awake. Okay, so I can fake interest in the festival, or I'm just resting my eyes and I fall asleep. I lose stress from this because I'm shy. Okay, I'm just resting my eyes. He lost opinion of me because he saw us sleeping. The stage in Schaumberg has been set up with hay flowers and interesting guests. 3 different goats stand in the centre, accompanied by their proud owners. Count Garbold gestures to me from the other end of the dais. Ah, there is our judge. I look around trying to see if he's referring to me, but there's no mistake. I start walking towards him while he continues. Welcome to our annual animal fair, where the prettiest goat will be crowned. When he talks, I notice that he's sneakily pointing to the one on the left. So I can say the one left, obviously. Okay. The comely one has a familiar beauty, and I judge the animal contest here and get 5 popular opinion, or Bavarian goats truly are the prettiest, and we get some extra cultural acceptance between Bavarian and French. Let's do that. Okay. Also, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, like chatter of that previous event, and you can hear it in some of the other events for this one. You keep hearing this one person say, "You know I am," like just over and over again. I don't know if you can hear that when that one's going off, but once I noticed it once, I hear it forever. I guess they must have just recorded like a party or something, like just an event, and then they just caught somebody talking like near the mic. But anyway, there you go. You just said, "You know I am," right there. Anyway, just an aside. As I promenade around the festival, I notice a hooded figure selling flasks whose liquid cannot be told. Come and buy my medicines, my lady, for they work miracles and balance the humours of even the weakest woman. As I look at the flaskets, I observe that one of them shines vermilion, as if it were made from the finest cinnabar. The other is bright green, as if someone had soaked copper plates in fresh wine. So I can take the red flask, the green flask, or I'm not risking my health. I'm going to take the red flask. Let's do that. Miraculous tonic has improved our fertility. Oh. I've concluded my royal visitation. Again, it's not a royal visitation because we are not a royal, but anyway, of Schaumberg. And now my procession prepares to depart. Count Garbold of Schaumberg and his court have all lined up neatly to see me part, and with everyone present, it's time to collect tribute for bestowing him with my presence. I mean, like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here for the money. I'm sorry. You're paying for the trip. So, where are we going now? Oh yeah, we're going off to the capital of Carpathia first, aren't we? Oh no, we're heading here, then we're heading to the capital of Carpathia. I see. We've the streets of Sankt Pölten are richly decorated for my arrival, and my vassal, Prince Bishop. I kind of feel like he needs some more vowels in his names. The Vertco dutifully awaits me. So here we are, up for a boring, mediocre at best festival that dullard Tvertco has had the decency to prepare. Thankfully, I'm here to lighten their bags from the weight of their gold. Apparently we don't like this guy very much. Alright, well, let's start. Cool. We got 4 gold from random tax. 'Tis the season. Streets hanging with tapestries. The smell of freshly cooked beef. The way Sankt Pölten shines during this time of the year. A bonfire has been lit in the centre of town to celebrate the victory of the brightest of stars ascending into heaven above. Amid the revelling and drinking of wine, one of the locals starts a song that all join into. Summer has arrived, loudly sing, seagull. The seed is growing and the meadow is blooming, sing, seagull. So it's such a lovely celebration, and let's drink some wine. I can drink and forget, or I can get 10 cultural acceptance. Definitely going to continue increasing cultural acceptance. And we have a daughter called Eleanor. Alright, cool. One thing we should also think about doing at some point, I might wait till they're 12, is think about marrying off my daughter and son at some point, or at least arranging betrothals. In fact, you know what? Because I was looking at this in between episodes, and I was looking for an example, I did notice that we have Princess Vladislava here of Bohemia, right? I think we're going to marry her off to our second son. I think we're going to marry her off to Robert, just while I remember that as an option. Wait, why is my other son not available? Yeah, wait a second. Why is my other son not available as someone I can marry off? That's weird. Anyway, I think Robert would be a good marriage. She's 4, he's 5. Gets us an alliance with the Kingdom of Bohemia again. I think that is a very solid marriage. Now, he's not too into it because of relative close family ties and you have too many existing alliances and all of that sort of stuff, but overall, he doesn't hate it, and I think it's a pretty good option, so we'll send the proposal through. Did I already marry Otto off? I already married Otto off. That's why I can't marry Otto off, because he's already married off. Because I already married him off for an alliance. Oh, there you go. Explains that one. Anyway, carrying on. 2 random people became friends. We have now got an alliance with the King of Bohemia once more. Are you marked as interesting? You are marked as interesting. Fantastic. And let's continue. Some people became lovers at this cultural festival. Lots of people became lovers at the cultural festival. Alright, I thought you said it was going to be boring. Oh, we didn't get any other events, but alright, I'll take my 50 gold. A gilded contribution. Look at that, I hear as I walked in the streets of Sankt Pölten. My mother, Haley Ermengarde, is pointing at what seems to be known as St. Matthew's Smith's Guild. A smile quickly appears on her face, blissful. A group of apprentices are kneeled down in front of a workbench. The master supervises the craft from the lintel of the door, arms crossed, chin up. You'll need a bit more strength for that, son. Haley Ermengarde takes a step in her direction, completely mesmerized. And say, these people are worth helping, and we get development growth here. We should invest in merchants back home as well. But go ahead, pay them a visit. I mean, if our mother wants to visit them, go ahead, pay them a visit. She became an architect. Oh. Alright. Good for her. And this guy refused my demand for our money. That is shocking. We can rightfully imprison him for that. I might rightfully imprison him for that. I have a reason just to imprison. He would say no, but I could do it. Alright, well, I'll remember that, I guess. Or I won't, but I'll think about remembering that. What I wanted to check is, just given that our mother is an architect, not that we need one, but isn't there an architect position? Not for us. Is it unavailable? It is unavailable because it's a royal architect and we are not a king. Alright then. Well, our mother's an architect. That's cool. Good for her. There's not really anything we can do about it. Like, it doesn't give us any positives or negatives. A stolen keepsake. My mother confronts my courtier Berenger accusingly, holding a treasured amulet. You thief, this was my mother's, Haley Ermengarde exclaims, eyes blazing with anger. Beringer vehemently denies the claim. You lying so, it has always belonged to me. Here's the thing, Beringer. Like, it belongs to my mother, because, like, my mother said so. Amidst the tranquil pastures of Comarom, a figure tends to a horse with a wounded leg. As we draw closer, the healer looks up, his eyes reflecting years of knowledge. A simple misstep, he explains, but she will run again. Moved by his care, we pause in our journey. So I can assist him. Could you teach me this craft, and I get excellent horse care forever? Alright. I hope she recovers swiftly. I don't really want to do either of those. So I hope she recovers swiftly, I guess? Yeah. Okay. There's not really a reason to do either of those. Gerberg has died of heart failure. She's no longer a lady in waiting. Do we have any ladies in waiting currently? Yeah, we still have Theodolinda. Alright. Cool. Your head of faith would grant you a claim on Provence. That's very nice info. Alright. Carrying on. Language barrier. Our caravan has become a little lost in these foreign lands. Lucino has been travelling around Mosen for hours. Though he at last swallowed his pride and asked for directions, he does not appear to be an expert Magyar speaker. I thought we spoke Magyar. We don't. Oh, alright. Well, let me try. I have managed to interpret the instructions, but I guess we can speak Magyar. I'll find somebody who we want to learn it from. Maybe the Emperor of Carpathia? Yeah. Just because it's a language we don't know. Might as well learn it. Cultural festival in Krems. For I yearn to delight myself in the great activities and joys I'm sure that Firebert has prepared and to lighten their bags from the weight of their gold. So our spy master and fellow member of House Babenberg, and it continues to raise the cultural acceptance between Bavarian and French. Wonderful. Okay. Just looking at the fact that, is this actually going down? Oh, I need to go in here. It's going down by 0.2 yearly. I'm going to switch you back onto increasing cultural acceptance. Sure. Actually, I'm going to switch you back to doing it in our capital. I don't know if there's a benefit to doing it in our capital, but you can do that there. Actually, increase development growth? No, you should just do that over here then. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that's probably better for him to do that. Just so that once we push it up, it doesn't drop back down again. Because now it's only 0.08 per year, so like it pretty much won't drop down at this point. Which I think is better. Okay. A capital artifact. Even with all the effort that has clearly been put into this festival, I can still notice some abandoned houses and poor materials in Krems. When I approach the main square, I see that Count Firebert has been surrounded by a group of kids, eagerly asking about our entourage. They immediately hide the moment they see me. I brought this from the capital if anyone cares to see, I say as I show Firebert the lucky rabbit's paw I brought with me. Magnificent, he says as the kids come back to see it, and say, in fact, you can keep it. We increase development growth by 2. That's development growth, though. Yeah, okay. So, that's not development. So that is not this number, it is this number. So it is, yeah, a very small percentage along the way. It's 2% along the way towards getting 1 development, which is equal to 0% levies and taxes. So, yeah, that doesn't really seem worth it. I mean, the opinion would be the reason you'd give it to him. Be careful with those hands. Am I using the lucky rabbit's paw? No. So I guess you can have it for the opinion. He is our spy master. But yeah, it's just a way of getting rid of it, I guess. Okay, cool. I assume it doesn't choose something you have equipped, because that would just annoy players. Mental resilience is our next option for learning perk. Time between mental breaks plus 3 years. Restraint. Embrace celibacy or abandon celibacy. Or iron constitution. Let's grab iron constitution, although the number of children we've got so far, we might want to think about celibacy. But anyway, it's just an option. More people becoming lovers. These festivals are, yeah, they're rowdy, I guess. People are learning different languages. People are becoming friends. Alright. May I? The sound of flutes and drums is quickly accompanied by a group of dancing guests, all following the music with joyful movements and laughter. A couple sneaks away into an alleyway, kids jump in a circle, a lonely old man struggles to move his hips. I spot Count Firebert among the crowd next to one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. So I can dance with Count Firebert's spouse, apparently, if I wanted to. Okay. I could use this opportunity to dance with the locals, and we get participated in dance, or dancing. Definitely dancing. And I'm of course going to ask you for like another 50 gold, which he gave us. Wonderful. Yeah. We're obviously going to do that. We need the money, because we have to fund this large tour that we decided to go on. Okay. Guardian Angel. While passing through the plains of Sharding, my courtier Antoinette is about to step on a thin ice patch over a frozen pond, but is urgently cautioned and held back by my knight, Gilbert. Antoinette, you need to be more careful. Gilbert admonishes, concern evident in his voice. Antoinette offers a sheepish, grateful smile in return. Thanks, I owe you one. Say, quick thinking there, you owe him nothing. Move with the utmost care or we must make haste. Let's just say we must make haste this time. Nights by the campfire. Long after night is settled, I find myself laughing and telling stories and drinking with Haley Ermengarde, Catherine and Bernard. I didn't know she had it in her, but Haley Ermengarde ends up telling a particularly ribald story about 4 peasants she had seen in Ottoberg. After drying my eyes from the laughter and drinking a bit to clear my throat, I will ask her to tell me another story, and we become friends with our mother. Wonderful. Now in Ingolstadt, and we get even more cultural acceptance with Bavarian. Fantastic. Boiling anger. You might be a duchess, Haley Ermengarde, but you're also a reclusive fiend, says my knight, Gilbert. And it lowers my stress that he said that. I cannot believe my eyes as Gundred starts gesturing towards Count Welf, what is considered highly offensive in Bavarian culture. Count Welf of Ingolstadt shouts and calls Gundred explicit names while his men hold him back. It seems like he is not going to calm down on his own. I have to do something to ease the tension. See, it's just a misunderstanding. I should berate her publicly, or maybe I can offer good compensation. Let's try and talk him down. It worked. Fantastic. And we get even more cultural acceptance. My spy master has come to me with grave news. It is Maria, the daughter of Duke Pandolf of Benevento, that is plotting to kill my brother Otto. Why? Oh, because you're his rival. Why? I mean, I could just ask that she gets excommunicated. Yeah, Pope's all in. He's like, you know what? I like you. I don't like her. Let's do it. Alright. Excommunicate her for me, please. She started holding a grudge. Good. I'm most disturbed by these tales you tell of Maria's misdeeds. Also, I'll just mark her as someone we're interested in. Pains me to do so, but I agree that for the good of the Catholic faith, she must be excommunicated. Wonderful. Right. The Grand Play. A wooden stage stands proudly in the middle of the square. Festive wreaths hang from the poles and the actors hide in one of the sides, giggling, chatting. They all go silent the moment that Count Velf walks in, his chest puffed up so proud. I would like to announce that the play in honour of our most distinguished guest, Duchy Haley Ermengarde, is about to begin. Please delight. The story goes on and on, talking about the streets of Ottoberg and my deeds. Nothing of interest is noted. I guess it could be worse, or I can't tell him what I really think of this. Let's say I can't tell him what I really think of this. Wait, no, that gets him a hook on me. No, I'm not giving him a hook on me for a subpar play. People brawled. Did we get some injuries here? Yes, there was a prowess challenge that ended well with somebody being injured. I've been enjoying the festivities in Ingolstadt today, but not nearly as much as my son Robert. He's been drinking and spinning with the locals with a jubilation and vigour I've never seen from him before. Fully immersed in the alien traditions of the Bavarian culture, he seems completely at home and the locals seem to adore him too. Say how nice or be with them, Robert. Yeah, why don't you have a chance of adopting that culture? I don't think he did adopt it, but we did increase cultural acceptance by an extra 10. Revelry, joy. As I enter Ingolstadt's main square, I see a group of figures dressed as priests singing and dancing. In its centre, a half-bishop, half-jester man presiding over the crowd. Count Welf makes an appearance, clapping his hands in joy. Now listen, friends, as Almeric is now our Bishop of Fools, and his will is law, and his voice is the voice of the Lord, what kind of sinful joy can we expect from him? Can't wait to find out. Such a blasphemous festivity has no place in my realm. Yeah, this is their attempt to be a spoil sport. Let's do it. Right. Oh, you've improved this. You've made my learn language schemes 4 days faster. Oh, incredible. What a completely pointless upgrade. Yes, I'll take my 50 gold from you. Wonderful. And now we're on to the next place. Altruism, the royal touch. Word of my arrival seems to have spread to the county of Ingolstadt, as our entourage is soon beset with countless serfs begging to be blessed with the royal touch. No, it's not a royal touch because we are not a royal. I think a lot of these events need like a second shot where they go, oh wait a second, you're not royal. They could just replace the word royal with noble and that would fix a lot of it, but anyway. I could of course simply sprinkle a little water blessed by myself upon them and they would surely be satisfied, but granting them blessed coins to soothe their infected areas would keep them happy and blessed for much longer. Well, I guess I'll spend my money to spread some blessed coins. I follow Count Welf as he follows me around, as he shows me around the festival. And now he announces, as we enter the castle grounds, what I expect to be a pleasant surprise. I raise my eyebrows when we find a marvellous fountain, all in white stone with a silver pipe and copious running of clear juice. Some people gather around it, laughing and throwing coins into the well. We can all drink together and we get drank from the fountain, or it be a waste not to make a wish. Let's drink together, sure. Cultural Festival in Gessenhausen. Ah, how delightful it is to set foot in here again. I can't wait to see what splendid performances and delicious meals he's prepared for me this time. A delight in their bags from the weight of their gold. Let's start. Cultural acceptance, we're at 69% cultural acceptance. Oh, and Theodolinda has died. Okay, so that is our aunt who has drank herself to death. Who's fifth in line? I'm kind of curious now, actually. Oh, never mind. It's our new daughter. Oh, yeah. Okay. Not nearly as exciting as I thought it might be. Anyway. Because I was trying to figure out who would be next after Theodolinda, but no. The reason, by the way, I was trying to figure this out is because when I was looking at the male preference versus male only, I was like, well, if we were to switch to male only inheritance, who would inherit? And I was like, would our half-brother inherit? Probably not. Because if our half-brother and half-sister would inherit, they would inherit under male preference before our aunt anyway. So they must not be in the line of succession. So then you go back and you're like, okay, well, Otto had 2 sisters, except this one's a half-sister, so would she be in line? I mean, by the same logic, maybe not, but maybe she would, in which case Salvatore would be the next in line. But maybe not. Maybe you would then have to go back another one, and you'd have to go back here, and then you'd have to go down Eckhard's line, and then that would mean that maybe Beatrix is next in line. It's kind of interesting to figure out who's next after all of that, because we're very close to having this entire line die out and then it move over to another line. Also, excuse me here. Why is there a smallpox in Cluny? Well, wait, this is Cluny, right? The one that we're... No. Wait, yeah, Cluny. It's not quite in Cluny, but it is in our route to Cluny. It's a dangerous place to go to. Okay, let's change our travel a little bit here then. So I actually don't need to go to Chalon, I need to go to Cluny. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go to here. There we go. Ah, interesting. Okay. Right. Let's carry on. Coin for a fortune. Off in a remote corner of the festival, I find an elaborately decorated tent. The materials and patterns are alien to me, so different from what I've seen back home. Its owner is stranger still, smiling at me knowingly above clasped hands. Ah, Duchess, I see much in your future. Come, give me a coin and I'll tell all. And become superstitious for 15 years. You know what? I have no interest in common charlatans. We are quite a virtuous person. Doesn't sound like that's something that would be approved of by the church. This person converted from Franconian to Bavarian. Oh, alright. Interesting. Parting demand, I'm obviously going to take my 50 gold. My dog has run away. I'm not going to chase after it. I'm going to be patient. It will come back. We've arrived in Lunchen. Let's start. Eventually, Gray comes trotting back, pretending that nothing is wrong. He's clutching something in his mouth, and as he gently places it before me, I see it's a couple of golden coins. Well done, Gray. And with that, I think we're actually going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.